Hello and welcome to today's lesson on the IELTS Coach. In today's lesson we are going to be looking at the IELTS Reading Exam. I will give you some general information about the exam and then give you a few ideas and tips that will help you succeed in the IELTS Reading Exam. So first, let's look at some general information you should know before you take the exam. The exam takes exactly 60 minutes. So you are given 60 minutes to do all of the exam. There is no extra time at the end. There is no break time during the exam. There are a total of 40 questions, and those 40 questions are through 3 different reading passages. So 3 articles or reading texts. And the total number of words will be between 2,000 and 2,750 words. This is the official number from the IELTS organization. If you know this is how much you need to read and how many questions you need to answer in 1 hour, then you can use that for your practice activities. You should be practicing reading the same amount of words, answering the same amount of questions in that 60-minute time limit. So this will help you in your preparation. All of your answers will be recorded on an answer sheet. So you will get a separate piece of paper from the questions, which you should record your answers. This is something you should practice when you are doing self-study at home or when you are working in a class or a group. Practice transferring answers. It is quite common to see mistakes, not in the actual reading section, but in the transfer of answers. And I mentioned before, no extra time is given for transferring your answers. And it's quite simple. 1 mark is awarded for each correct answer. You don't lose marks for mistakes, but you don't get the mark either. And for the reading exam, spelling and grammar must be correct. So if you've written the correct word, but your spelling is incorrect, that will be marked as wrong. You won't get 1 point for that. The same with grammar. If you miss something or you get the tense incorrect, then you will not get the mark. So be very careful with spelling and grammar. So that is a general information for the reading exam. Now let's move on to a few tips and tricks that will help you get a better score. Don't try to learn vocabulary in the exam or even when you're doing practice activities. Learning vocabulary should be a separate thing. I see students underlining words they don't know or circling words and trying to think about them. You are not tested on your vocabulary knowledge. You're tested on one thing. Find the answer to the question. If there's a difficult word, it may not be necessary to know that in order to answer the question. This is not a vocabulary test. It's a reading test. Can you find the answer to the question? Focus on that. Practice reading under exam conditions. That means reading exam-style texts from magazines and academic articles, reading in the 60-minute time limit, and the correct number of articles and number of words. Use realistic exam materials. There are a lot of practice books and websites online that provide reasonable exam materials. Use them under exam conditions. Time limits are a big problem for students in the exam, usually because they don't practice with time limits at home. So use correct time limits and transfer your answers to the answer sheet at home when you do self-study. It will make the test day much easier. And practice every day. Don't just leave it until 1 or 2 days before the exam. Reading is something you should do every day. If you don't have a full 60 minutes, perhaps just do one reading section. Do 20 minutes to read one text, answer the 13 or 14 questions, and transfer those answers in 20 minutes. Surely you can find 20 minutes a day to do some reading practice, or 20 minutes every second day if you can't do that. but always try to do something perhaps even connected to increasing your vocabulary. So thank you for watching this short video lesson. If you would like more practice materials or more videos giving advice, strategies, and tips for the IELTS exam, please visit theieltscoach.com. Thank you and goodbye.